This episode contains audio clips from real 911 calls and brief mentions of sexual assault that may be disturbing. Listener discretion is advised. If you or someone you know is struggling, help is available. Go to findahelpline.com to access relevant services available in your country, or dial 988 for the 24/7 suicide hotline in Canada or the US. Please take care while listening. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crime Family. I'm your co-host, AJ, and I'm here with my two sisters and co-hosts, Lisa and Katie. And this episode marks our 5th year anniversary of the podcast. So this episode will be coming out on March 4th, which our 5th year anniversary is March 3rd. So close enough. So it's been officially 5 years of the show, which is really exciting and crazy. I don't know. I think when we started, I don't know if we were just doing kind of, let's see how it goes, to start out. Let's just get through one season. And now we're here 5 years later and in our 7th season. So very exciting, very cool. And we thank everyone who's listened along the way and interacted with us and, has been loyally listening to the show. We really appreciate that. So for this 5th anniversary episode, we wanted to do something a little bit different. And throughout the years that we've done the show, we've done a handful of cases or maybe more that did include audio clips of really creepy 911 calls or just pieces of audio from certain cases. And so we thought that was going to be a good idea for this episode to just gather 5 terrifying, creepy audio clips from real cases. And they're not all going to be ones that we've done before. I think out of the ones that we've narrowed it down to, I think there's just one that we've already covered on the show in a full episode, but the rest are all not cases that we've done. And so what we're going to do for this is we've been working leading up to this we had a big list and then we kind of narrowed it down. So we have 5 that we feel are equally terrifying, creepy. And so what we're going to do is we're going to play the audio for you, give you a little context of the case that it's from and maybe updates of where the case stands today. And these are in obviously no particular order. To start it off, we have a clip from the Anthonette Cayedito case. And this is a cold case from the 1980s. So Anthonette Cayedito was just 9 years old when she vanished from her home in Gallup, New Mexico, in the early morning hours of April 6th, 1986. She had been inside the house the night before, and then by morning, she was just simply gone. There were no signs of forced entry that clearly explained what happened, and investigators quickly began treating the case as a suspected abduction. At the time, Anthonette was about 4 feet 7 inches tall, around 55 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. She wore glasses and was last believed to be wearing a pink nightgown. So despite searches and community efforts, no trace of her was found in those critical first few hours or first few days. And then about a year later, after her abduction, police received a brief phone call from a young girl who identified herself as Anthonette and said that she was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But before she could say more, there was an adult voice that interrupted, asking who had allowed her to use the phone. The line goes silent after what sounded like a bit of a struggle. So I'm going to play this audio clip now for you to hear. It is a little bit hard to make out what they're saying and especially the person in the background. So try to listen closely if you can. And it's only about 30 seconds long, but I'm going to play that for you now.
Police department. Hello. I'm Anthonette Cayedito. I'm whereabouts in Albuquerque? Hello? Anthonette, where are you? Anthonette? Hello?
So that's the 30 seconds of the call. Super creepy, super terrifying. The call was never definitively confirmed to be from Anthonette. So there was never like said with 100% certainty whether it was actually her or not. And the call could not be traced. And then in the years that followed, there were reported sightings, including a possible encounter in Nevada, but none of these were ever verified either. And to this day, the case remains unsolved, and investigators have long believed that foul play is likely, though no one has ever been charged in the case. So I had not heard of this case until I started looking for cases that involved some creepy audio, and this one kept coming up consistently as one of the terrifying. And it's also really, really, I mean, obviously sad, but the fact that it's such like a 9-year-old child at the time, it's just really, really sad. And the fact that it's still unsolved is also still very sad. So if anyone has any information concerning this person or this case, please contact your local FBI office or the nearest American embassy or consulate. And we'll put a link to the official FBI page on this case, as well as the age progression photo that is available there too. So yeah, what do you guys think of the audio or just the case? I know it's a very brief overview of the case, but what do you think of the audio?
I was I was worried about picking this one just 'cause it's so sad, like, it's just so sad, but the voice saying, like, "Who said you can make a call?" Like, that's, like, terrifying to me. I don't know, it's that's why I picked it, it stuck with me, but it's, like, so, so sad.
Yeah, I hate this one. It just 'cause it is, like yeah, like a little kid, it is sad. You don't know what happened. It's scary, like, you can hear her even it feels like it definitely is real because you can just hear, like, the fear in her voice. And, like, is there a lot out there about this one? Because I feel like I haven't really heard about this case.
Yeah, I'd
And, like,
never
do you
heard
think
of
of
it.
other yeah. Think of, like, other missing or murdered kids, and they're just, like, I don't know. There's a lot out there.
Yeah, like, I wonder
Yeah.
why, like, you have this phone call, you have this girl that vanishes, and there was just nothing, and then,
I guess this was in the '80s though, right? So I'm it's just like, it's fairly old,
I
like,
guess,
older,
but
so
I feel like there was other kids in the '80s who got a lot of talk that didn't have a phone call to go with it, I don't know. It just I wonder why this one slipped through the cracks.
I don't know. Um, she was also like a Native American girl, so I don't know if that had any indicates it wasn't like a white, blue-eyed,
oh,
blonde
there's your
hair.
answer.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, you
So
answered it for me. Then I could no
Yeah.
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
is,
that mystery solved.
Yeah, I
yeah,
got that yep, that was one mystery
yeah. Like
solved
she
in this
was
case.
yeah, like she was like biracial, so she was half white, half Native American, but yeah. So I guess, yeah, that's your answer. And obviously, I think that and I did also read when I did doing a little bit on this case that, her mother did listen to the audio several times and did say that that was her, like, knew without a doubt that that was her daughter on the call. So I'm tending to believe that it actually was her. And it's so sad that, like, this was her one moment. She felt she had a moment to, like, get on the phone and make
But it's
this
like,
last kind of attempt.
if it's a year later and she's still alive, like, maybe she is still alive, I'd like to think that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe she like, you, like, kept her alive for a year t when she made that call. I feel like if you don't usually keep them alive that long if you're gonna do anything to them, so maybe it's one of those stories where the kidnapper just became her parent and she lived a great life, you know what I mean? I don't know, but maybe she's
Yeah,
alive.
but then it's like she never had another chance to make a phone call or contact anybody ever again, like, that's a weird part of it too. Like, never was on the phone again?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's terrifying too, because you think, like, maybe this like, if after this incident, like, maybe something happened to her right after that because 'cause they're like, she's, you know, you can't control her. She's getting out. She's, like, trying to make calls and stuff like that, so and it's also just terrifying too that's not only can you hear her on the other end, but you can hear that person in the background too saying, like, "Who said you could use the phone?" and, like, the scream, so yeah, really, really terrifying and sad, so yeah, we'll put like I said, we'll put the link to the FBI page and where you can submit tips, so you can call 505-889-1300 or visit tips.fbi.gov. if you know anything on this case. And it's 2026 now, so she would have officially been missing for 40 years this year. It was April 6th of 1986 that she went missing, so she would be almost 50 years old.
Wow.
Or turning 50 years old this year if she's still alive. So yeah, really sad. So that's the first one. I know it's hard to kind of that's a sad one to start off with. I mean, all of these are really sad and really awful. That's the first one. So now, Lisa, on to you.
So Shawn Grate was a serial killer who was sentenced to death for the murders of women across the Ohio counties. So on September 13th, 2016, a kidnapping victim makes a 911 call, and with her kidnapper sleeping right beside her, she tells the 911 call dispatcher that she's being held against her will inside a home. And 40-year-old Shawn Grates was arrested at the scene. So he later confesses to abducting and sexually assaulting the woman who made this call, and also confesses to murdering 5 women. The bodies of 2 of those women were found on the property where that girl was rescued. So the call is 14 minutes long, so we're not playing all of it. We're not playing all of it, but I think we should play maybe the first 2 minutes of the call. So this is that phone call.
What is the address to your emergency?
By the Fourth Street Laundromat.
What is it?
Fourth Street Laundromat.
What's the problem?
I've been abducted.
What's your name? How do you spell your last name? Who abducted you?
Shawn Grate.
You said John Green?
Shawn Grate.
Where's he at now?
Asleep.
Where's he sleeping at?
In the bedroom.
In what bedroom?
There's 2 houses right by the laundry street. And it's in one of those houses.
But you're at the laundromat?
No, I'm in the bedroom with them.
What color's the house? Is it across? If I'm looking at the laundromat, which way is it?
If you're looking in the laundromat, it's one on the left of the 2.
You don't know what color the house is?
No. Please hurry.
Does he have a car?
No. Well, Lisa down the street.
So what's your phone number you're calling me from?
I don't know.
And you think it's a yellow house?
I think so, but it's on the left.
Is it an apartment?
No, it's a house.
Okay, does he own the house?
No, he broke into.
Does anybody actually live there?
I think they've been abandoned.
And his name is Shawn Grate?
Yes.
Like Grate?
Yes.
Does he have a weapon?
He's got a taser.
Okay, yeah, so that is the 911 call. And also at the end of the call, you hear her being rescued. So this was the call that ultimately led to his arrest. Like I said, 2 sets of remains were later found in that house from 2 missing women. And then there's an ABC article that actually, the officer that arrived at the scene, he goes through, he actually talks about, pulling up to the scene, how he kept his patrol car siren turned off so he wouldn't alert the perpetrator. And then the detective says as he circled the perimeter of the house, he spotted Jane Doe's hand on a window. So she had managed to untie her restraints. And then officers made the daring rescue 19 minutes after arriving at the scene. He says, I saw her outstretched hand through a window, and I knew at that point I knew that at that point this was the right house. He said I would have gone through a wall to get to her. Authorities later learned that this Jane Doe was able to grab her abductor's phone, but her abductor had removed the doorknob in the bedroom, making it impossible for her to leave the room. And later on in the call, she says this. She's like, I can't get out because there is no doorknob. And she's trying to leave the room without waking him. And then once she had police at the scene, she was able to flee the bedroom and head towards a window. And then the perpetrator, who was identified as 40-year-old Shawn Grate, was arrested at the scene. And then he gets interrogated. I think there's a 33-hour interrogation. And then he admits to killing 5 women, and he gets sentenced to death. So he's on death row. So that is that. That is the case of that. That's I mean, we could. That's Shawn Grate is like a whole, like it's a huge, huge rabbit hole. So this is very, very a short version of it. But what do you guys think of that call?
Yeah, I had actually heard of this. I knew about this one for a while. And that's why when we like I knew it was going to come up on the list when we chose to do like 5 terrifying audio because it's pretty unique. I don't think there's that many audios that exist out there like this. Very terrifying, very creepy. And yeah, obviously we're going to put the link to the full audio in the show notes. So definitely recommend go and like listen to the full thing. Like Lisa said, it's 14 minutes or so. So it is long, but you get to hear them, like all the stuff she described, and then you hear them like rescuing her basically towards the end of that. But yeah, terrifying call. And obviously I'm glad the result, unlike the one we just heard before this, that actually resulted, she got rescued and the person was arrested. And yeah, terrifying.
It is terrifying. You think about this, like he's asleep in the bed beside her, and she's like in the room with him, trying not to wake him up. She stole his phone and is like whispering to the 911 operator. Like it's just so scary. And like she can't get out. She doesn't know if the cops are gonna be able to find her. Ugh. And then you find out later that there's like 2 dead bodies in the house with them. Like it's so creepy. It's like actually like a nightmare that you would, if you were gonna think of like a super scary thing to like come up with, like this is probably it. So creepy.
When I heard this audio years ago, it's the whispering that is scary. It's like, she's saying, "Hurry, hurry!" Like he might wake up. Like, and and then you don't know through that 14 minutes if he's going to wake up. And it's like suspenseful. And then finally at the end, you hear her say, like, I hear them. They're here. And then she gets rescued. But like, that the whispering is probably the creepiest part.
It's like something you'd see in like a movie or something.
I know,
Like-
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, if you're gonna write like a terrifying story, like this would be part of it. Like, just
Like,
he's
could
like
you-
right beside you, and you're whispering in the bed.
Can you imagine you show up and you don't know if it's the right house, and all of a sudden you see a hand at the window?
Oh yeah.
Like-
oh my god.
It's terrifying.
Terrifying.
It's
And it
terrifying for her. Can you imagine like her if she's like making noise for them to come, but they like don't see her and then they leave and then he wakes up? Like, yeah, just like the whole situation.
like it's so crazy because like all it would take is one little thing for him to wake up, and then it could have been a very different ending to this, which is terrifying. So yeah, it's hard to believe that something like this would be something, like I said, you'd see in a movie, but you would be like, that's almost seems like wouldn't happen in real life. Like it seems too crazy for reality, but it was reality. So it's wild. All right, so that's the Shawn Grate one. And now for the third one that we are going to do, this one is actually the one on our list that we actually have already covered on the show, but still, I think, should be on this list because it is absolutely terrifying and it's part of a whole larger case. So back in season 5, we actually did a 4-part series on the Long Island serial killer. And this 911 call and everything that I'm about to describe, kind of in the context of it, is sort of what is really tied into the Long Island serial killer case. And so this is the Shannan Gilbert, the 911 audio of the Shannan Gilbert case or the call. So Shannan Gilbert was a 23-year-old woman who disappeared in the early morning hours of May 1st, 2010, after visiting a client in the gated community of Oak Beach near Gilgo Beach on Long Island. So Shannan was a sex worker. And so she had gone there with her friend and driver. And that night, she placed a frantic 23-minute 911 call shortly before she vanished. And in the call, she's telling the dispatcher things like, "They're trying to kill me, somebody's after me," though she never clearly identifies who they are or who this person is. After leaving the home, which you'll hear in this call, she runs through the neighborhood screaming. She knocks on doors in the neighborhood and seeking help before eventually disappearing into a marshy area nearby. And despite extensive searches in the days following her disappearance, she was not located immediately at that time. So I'm going to play the audio. Obviously, not going to play the full thing. Like I said, it's like over 20 minutes long. So I have picked out just a couple of spots here. So I'm going to play about in total 7 minutes of it. And so you'll hear in this call, what you're going to hear is kind of like the stuff I said. She's calling the 911 operator to say that someone's after her. She's inside this house that she had gone into, the house of her client. And you can hear people in the background talking to her, trying to coax her out of, to come out or to leave the house and stuff like that. So that's this first part that you're going to hear.
State Police, Trooper Fry. State Police.
Yeah, there's somebody after me.
I'm sorry?
There's somebody after me.
Where are you?
There's somebody after me.
Okay, where are you?
There's somebody after me.
Where are you, ma'am?
I don't know.
You're driving right now?
No, I'm inside the house.
I'm sorry?
I'm inside the house.
What house?
I don't know. Can you trace where I am?
I'm sorry?
Can you trace where I am?
No, I can't. What's your callback number you're calling from?
Huh?
What phone number are you calling from?
Somebody's after me. Please.
Are you in Suffolk County or Nassau County?
I'm in Long Island.
Where on Long Island are you?
No. 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 No, stop, no.
Where in Long Island are you? In Suffolk County? Nassau County?
Huh? Why? Why didn't you call me by my name? Why?
County, you on the line?
Stop. Please. Stop it, please. Please stop. Please. Can you shut the door?
No, time to go.
Please. Please.
Please.
Please.
Go that way, please. Come on, let's go. Come on, roll that side. Come on, go outside. Come on, all of us. Come on, over outside. Come on.
No, please.
Come on. Please, come on.
Please.
Come on.
Why?
Please,
Why?
County, are you on the line?
hurry up, I want to show you something.
Why?
I want to show you this. Please support me. Please.
Why? Why are you guys doing this to me?
What?
Doing this.
What county are you in, ma'am?
Doing this.
There you go.
Why are you calling me by my name? Please.
Please, give me here.
No, please.
Give me here.
No.
Please.
No, stop it, please. Stop it, please. Please
No,
stop it.
no, no.
Please stop it. No, please. Stop it. Please stop it. No.
Let me fix that. Please.
Please stop it. No, please stop it, please. Please stop it, please. No, what are you going to do to me? What are you going to do to me? Stop it.
Please, get him out of here. What do you want?
No.
Go on. I'll go upstairs. You leave. I'm going to go upstairs. You leave. I'm going to go upstairs. Okay? You leave. Please. Please. Take care.
So that's the first part of this. So like I said, she's clearly very terrified, whatever has going down in that house. And you heard two people in that call, or three people, like her and then two male voices. So one is Michael Pack, who was her friend or driver who brought her there, and Joseph Brewer was the name of her client. And so this next part, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit in the call and go to where she leaves the home and she's running down the street screaming, and she's actually going to people's houses, knocking on their doors, people who live in the area. And so you'll hear that in this next part, which is even more terrifying than what you just heard.
You do? I called this number back and it wasn't number she's calling from. I think that's her number. 9308 is one of our extensions, I think. 2739. Oh, did you call that one?
Shannan? Hello?
Who's the shield on the car? 1955.
Shannan?
I wonder if she has a phone in her pocket.
So that's the last section. So yeah, in that you can clearly hear her screaming. She runs out of the house and she's going, and you can hear her knocking on doors. So it seems like she goes, she knocks. If no one comes right away, she runs to the next one, and then you can also hear on that call the dispatchers. The one dispatcher calls another dispatcher, and they're like talking between themselves, trying to figure out what's happening. They know she's in Long Island, and all of this stuff. So really terrifying. There's actually several 911 calls that were placed that night. So there is someone in one of the houses that calls 911 saying that this woman came to their door and she's fearing for her life, and she's obviously very scared. And so there's a couple of different calls from those people as well that kind of factor into this. So I guess, what are you guys' thoughts of the audio? I know you guys have heard it before, but thoughts?
When I first heard it, it sounded scary, but the more I go into the rabbit hole and I hear it, I don't know. To me, I don't know. She just, I don't know how I feel. If it was really like someone was really after her, she was just on something and she kind of freaked out.
Yeah. So I remember this case because I did a lot of research. But yeah, they did find her body, and they feel like they say she died from exposure, and that she wasn't actually a victim of the Long Island serial killer. Like, it
Oh.
was a separate. That's how they discovered. That's how they discovered the Long
Oh.
Island serial killer, because they found a bunch of other bodies before they even found hers.
Yeah, I guess I just started thinking like maybe it wasn't anything nefarious. She just had a bad trip and she ran away into the swamp and died of exposure. So
Yeah, see, that's what I think. Yeah, a lot of people I think that's what the police came to the conclusion as well. Because I think the other people that called the police, like they said there wasn't anyone chasing her or anything. Like, they couldn't see anybody or anything coming after her. So it was like, yeah, she was just kind of imagining it. And then, but of course, her family was like, "There's no way that she would have just ran into the swamp and died." So, but yeah, it is scary audio though.
she clearly sounds intoxicated. Her voice is almost like she sounds like she's on something. And when I first heard about this case, and I first heard that audio years ago, I was like, no, like this is evidence of something happening, like that serial killer was after her or something. Um, but now it's like I feel like it wasn't what it seemed. Like she maybe thought something that wasn't actually she thought something was happening that wasn't actually happening, and then she just ran away and got lost.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the conclusion.
Yeah.
But like before they knew that and like before they found her and everything, like just hearing that audio, it's like somebody is after her. Like it's scary.
Yeah. Yes, definitely like one of the more interesting 911 calls that I've ever heard.
Yeah. And like I said, it's the actual full one is over 23. It's like 23 something minutes. So it's pretty much just the little snippets I played is pretty much just that for longer, like her running to different houses and screaming. And so yeah, that was in May of 2010. And then in late 2011, Gilbert's remains were discovered in a marsh roughly half a mile from where she was last seen. And her disappearance had already prompted expanded searches along Ocean Parkway, which led to the discovery of multiple sets of remains that are now associated with what became known as the Long Island serial killer. So it was kind of long, pretty much assumed that like this was something completely separate. And it was just coincidental that the search for her body is what led to the finding all of these other bodies. And actually found all these other bodies before, or some of the other bodies before they even found hers. And then the whole Long Island serial killer case unraveled. So like I said, we did in season 5, we also did a 4-part series on this case. Katie did like a deep dive into it, and we have 4 episodes on it. So definitely recommend going to check those out as well. In 2012, the Suffolk County medical examiner ruled Gilbert's death an accidental drowning. Like Katie said, like she kind of had gone into the marsh. Maybe she was on something, drowned in the marsh, and then or died of exposure to the elements. Though her family strongly disputes that conclusion and pursued an independent autopsy, which suggested possible strangulation, but could not determine a definitive cause of death. So while authorities have stated that they do not currently believe her death is connected to the Gilgo Beach homicide or the Long Island serial killer, her case does remain a pivotal and debated part of the broader investigation. And so there was sort of some debate of like, there was potential evidence that said it was evidence of strangulation. So if that's the case, then obviously it's not, she died of the elements, like something happened, somebody was actually after her. But if that's the case, kind of adds another layer to this. So basically it's still unsolved. I mean, I guess not in the eyes of the authorities, like they can assume it was just natural causes she died of or died of the elements. But her family and people who kind of do deep dives on this case think that there could be something more to it and that she is involved. But at the very least, this 911 call and the search for her is what led the police to find all those other bodies and make the connection to Rex Heuermann for those other victims and bring him to justice at least. So yeah, crazy. That one's crazy. And we'll put the full link again to the full audio of that one too. I highly recommend you listen to that. And you'll probably go on a deep dive into this case based on that because you'll start looking at it and it's a whole thing. So go do that if you'd like, or listen to our coverage of it. Long Island serial killer, 4 episodes. Perfect. All right. Now, Lisa, now you're doing the next one.
Okay. So the next one is from the Brandon Lawson case. Brandon Lawson was a father from Texas, and on August 9th, 2013, he places a 911 call from a deserted stretch of highway. He sounds confused, scared, and seems to be running from something he can't name, and then he just vanishes. So after a fight with his wife, he had jumped into his truck and speeds away into the Texas night. He calls his dad at some point and tells him he's driving to his house but somewhere along the way, he runs out of gas near the town of Broad City, Texas. At 12:50 a.m., he calls his brother, asking for help, and his brother says he will grab a gas can and head to him. And when his brother arrives, he finds Brandon's truck, but not Brandon. Brandon's truck is parked awkwardly on the side of the road. His hazard lights were flashing, doors were unlocked, and there was no sign of Brandon. So a 911 call is placed. In the recording of the conversation, he explains that his truck ran out of gas and that there's a guy chasing him through the woods. Please hurry, he urges the first responders on the phone. There'll be no talking to them, Brandon goes on. I accidentally ran into them. So after the call ends abruptly, police arrive at the scene and see no struggle, no blood, no attackers, and no Brandon. Brandon's brother calls him again, and he answers, but the call drops after a few minutes, and he's never heard from or seen again. People who have listened to this 911 call, they swear they hear multiple people in the background, faint screams, and even someone saying, "Help me." So we'll listen to that and see maybe you guys can hear that.
Yes, I'm in the middle of the field. It's like we're just pushing guys over. Right here going towards Javelin on both sides. My truck ran out of gas. There's one car here. You got to take it to the woods. Please hurry.
Okay, now run that by me.
We're not talking to him. I actually ran into him.
Ah, you ran into him. Okay.
That's the first guy.
Do you need an ambulance?
Yes. No, I need the call.
Okay. Is anybody hurt? Hello? Hello? Hello?
So I can't hear anybody else. But maybe that call was isolated, like edited and isolated. I don't know. But I can't hear anyone in the background at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Um,
I was trying to listen for that, but I couldn't hear anything like that.
yeah, so he's saying he ran into people and they're chasing him through the woods. And when the cops show up to where they find his truck, there is no sign of anybody around, no sign of Brandon at all. So he simply just seems to have vanished. His remains were eventually found in 2022 in a field about a mile from his abandoned truck, but the cause of death was never released. So that is where it ended. So his body was found. How he died, it's never been released. This is one of the cases. There's a few cases I go back to all the time and read about. This is one of them, and then his body was found. The mystery of where he was, kind of, the mystery is ended. But what happened to him, and whether there were people chasing him through the fields, that has never been determined, and I don't know if it ever will. There's a whole, you know, huge theories about what was really going on. It's a fascinating case. So that is a 911 call. What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's pretty scary, and like on its own, it might not sound that terrifying, but it's just the fact that like this is probably the very last few minutes of someone's life.
Like the cops came out and they saw his truck, but not him. And then later his body was found there. Like, I don't.
Yeah, so he makes that call, and then when the cops arrive and his brother, they find his truck, all his belongings, he's nowhere to be found, and he was never heard from or seen from again. The police had seen no struggle, no blood or attackers. That was kind of where it ended. And then in 2022, his remains were found in a mile from his abandoned truck.
Oh, that's so weird.
Right? Like,
Is there no
so,
evidence that, like, because he said he ran into somebody. Like, was there evidence that he, like, hit someone's car? Was his truck?
there was no one
at
there.
all?
There was no evidence of anybody, no other vehicle. And then he said he ran into them in the woods, but why would he be in the woods when he was trying to walk to, I don't know. His car ran out of gas. He called his brother to bring a gas can. So I don't know why he would go running through the woods then if his brother was coming with a gas can.
Is this at night?
Yeah, it's like 12:30 at night.
Okay. Yeah, I picture it being
Yeah.
at night for sure. But yeah, it's super creepy.
Some think it was drug-induced delusion. Some think he stumbled onto something like a drug-related transaction or another illegal activity that he shouldn't have seen, and then they killed him, like the people he ran into or something were doing something shady. So there's a staper theory. So this says that some listeners interpreted his 911 calls as saying a staper, which is like a local slang for a state trooper, pushed some guys over, implying he ran into a perhaps undercover police stop or a drug deal. So I don't know. In the call says a staper. It might sound like he's saying staper, which is slang for a state trooper. Pushed me over or something. So I thought maybe undercover cop was involved. This is one that was really speculated. It was a staged disappearance due to an outstanding warrant. It was initially speculated that he had staged his disappearance to avoid legal trouble. But although his terrified demeanor on the 911 call makes this less likely, like he sounds genuinely scared. And then another one is the cover-up police involvement. So some theories suggest there was a cover-up questioning this. So there's 14-minute delay in the dispatch response. And so a lot of theories think, like a lot of people questioned the actions of the local law enforcement that handled the investigation, and there was like they can't explain why the 14-minute delay in dispatch response. I guess like it shouldn't have taken that long to get there.
That's super weird. But
Yeah.
did they like do an autopsy? Like, did they figure out how he died?
I looked it up quickly, and it just says that, like, in December 2024, they said the DNA results had returned a positive result for Brandon Lawson, which confirmed that his death, but the exact cause of his death was unclear.
So then I saw another article. It said, yeah, exact cause of death was undetermined, leaving theories divided between hypothermia, accidental death, and drug-induced psychosis of foul play. So obviously those are always those are the options. So yeah, but they never actually pinpointed to one certain one.
So we don't actually know then. Okay.
Anyway, that's that. Like, so that's the. I mean, that's a mysterious, crazy phone call. We'll never know what really, if there was someone chasing him, he was like hallucinating, or was it a state trooper undercover that was after, who knows? So the theories we'll never know, I don't think. So super crazy.
Just the fact that, like, those are the last moments of someone's life, and, like, I'm sure, like, people kind of comb over that 911 call to listen to any possible clue, like, a million times over. It's scary. It's creepy. All right. So now we'll go on to our last one. So this is our fifth audio, our case. So this one is the Denise Lee case. And Denise Amber Lee was just 21 years old when she was abducted from her home in Northport, Florida on January 17th, 2008. And she was a young mother of two. And that afternoon, her husband returned home from work to find her gone and their children alone in the house. And then what followed was a desperate race against time. As it turns out, Denise was taken by a man named Michael Lee King, who later sexually assaulted and murdered her. And 2 days after she disappeared, her body was discovered in a shallow grave. And in a very short amount of time, King was arrested, convicted of kidnapping, sexual battery, and first-degree murder. And he was sentenced to death. So that's basically the case in a very quick nutshell. So the audio in this case is terrifying and very sad. So what makes the case especially haunting is that Denise was still alive while multiple 911 calls were coming in. And one of those 911 calls actually was made by herself. So she actually managed to call 911 from her abductor's phone while she was in his van and tried to communicate that she was being held against her will. And she carefully chose her words so that she wouldn't alert him. So in the call, you'll hear she's kind of making it seem like she's trying to talk to him. But while talking to him, she's giving the 911 operator clues about various things, or trying to anyway. And this is all happening within hours of her being abducted. And if you go into this case a little bit more, there's other 911 calls, like somebody hears they're at like a traffic stop or a traffic light, and she hears screaming in another car, thinks it's a child abduction. So she calls 911 to report what she thinks is a child abduction, but it's actually Denise in the car. And there's other neighbors and other people in the neighborhood who can spot the car and spot the vehicle, which is how it ends up where he's found very quickly, within like just a matter of hours. And unfortunately not quick enough though. But this 911 call that we're going to hear, it's about 6 minutes long, and it's a little bit hard again to hear what is being said. So just try to listen carefully. But basically the gist of it is she's in this call. I think where he like leaves, he gets out of the car to like go, because he goes to one of his neighbors' houses to like borrow equipment like a shovel and a flashlight and things. And while he's away out of the car, she takes his phone. And then when he gets back in the car, she calls 911. And this is what you're going to hear on the 911 call.
911. Hello? I just want to see my family. Hello? I just want to see my family again. Hello? Please, I just want to see my family again. Hello? Please let me go. Please let me go. I just want to see my family again. Okay. Hello? I'm sorry. Hello? let me go, God, please.
Hello?
Help me.
What's the address? What's the address that you're at? Hello? What is the address that you're at? Hello, ma'am?
Where are we going? I'm going around where? Can you see that? That's 4 streets, 5 streets over from your house. I couldn't everywhere.
What's your name, ma'am? Hello? What's your name?
Please, my name is Denise, and I'm your beautiful husband, and I just want to see my kids again.
Your name's Denise?
I'm sorry.
Please,
God, please protect me.
are you on I-75?
Where are we? I don't know. Please. Please.
Where are you at? Can you tell if you're on I-75?
I don't know where your phone is. I'm sorry. You just tell me where we are.
Are you blindfolded if you don't press the button?
I don't have your phone. Please, God. I don't have it. I'm sorry.
Do you know this guy?
I don't have it. I'm sorry.
Denise, do you know this guy? She might have the phone laid down and not hear a thing I'm saying, too. He keeps saying it off the phone.
I don't know where it is. Maybe if I could see it, help me find it. No, sir.
Denise?
What's the story?
How long have you been gone from your house? How long? Do you know how long you've been gone from your house? What's your last name? Lee?
Yeah.
Do you know what street? Your name's Denise Lee? Can you tell at all what street you're on?
No.
Do you know this guy that's with you?
No.
You don't know him from anywhere?
No, please. Oh, God, help me.
What's your address? What's your home address, do you know?
I don't know. Please just take me to my house. Please just take me home. I'm a trans, please.
Can you see, or do you have a blindfold on?
I can't see. Where are we?
Can they turn off the radio or turn it down?
I can't hear you. It's too loud. Where are we? Are you gonna help me? Are you gonna let me out now? Help me.
So that is the call, and yeah, as you heard in the call, so the 911 operator is asking her questions, and then she tries to answer or give as much information as she can, but making it seem like she's talking to the man who kidnapped her, which you can also hear him in the background. Like there's the radio's playing and there's music, but you can also hear him asking her where his phone is, and she keeps saying she doesn't know. And then when the operator says to turn the radio down because it's too loud, she tries to make it seem like, she said, turn it down, I can't hear you, all this stuff. So really,
Like the operator telling her
really
to turn the
sad.
music down. He's like, "You think she has control in this car? You think like, I guess like, sure, I'll turn the music down. Like, we're just going for a leisurely stroll. Like, what a stupid question to ask."
Well, maybe she was kind of catching on to what she was doing and hoped that if she said that, then she would be able to get him to turn it down. By, I don't know. That's just my thought. But
Yeah, maybe.
also the operator sounds kind of dumb. And I think there was
Yeah, like
actually a big,
hello. Like after the third time saying it, she's not going to be saying hi back. Like maybe try a different tactic.
I know.
Like
I know. And there was also a big controversy too, apparently, when this case was happening because of the lack of response. And the saddest thing too is like when she's in the car, she crosses like county lines. So like then certain 911 calls that get placed, especially by the person in the other car who thinks it's a child abduction, they call, but it's a different county. So they call a different police officer, and like no one puts the pieces together. So the call itself is terrifying. And it's like so sad that she was able to call 911, but because the incompetence of the 911
but
operator.
the fact
for
that
one.
like her phone is obviously not up to her ear, but it's so clear. Like it sounds like she's talking, but obviously he doesn't know she's on the phone. So her phone, she must not be holding it to her ear. If she's sitting on it, something,
Yeah,
it's still so
but I also
clear.
yeah, and it does, and because you can hear the operator say in that call, like, oh, she might not have the phone. She probably can't hear anything I'm saying because but she
She
like
does answer
but
a
when the
little bit.
operator when the officer mentions the radio being too loud, then she says, "Turn it down. I
Yeah.
can't hear you." So she
Or like
can hear what the
blindfolded.
operator's saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but how could
and
she
then when they say
hear?
something about where do you live, and then she says, "Just take me home," like she's trying, like like then she'll be able to like give her address, kind of thing. So she can hear him or hear the operator.
The radio was so loud. Like, how, if she's not, it's not up to a year, how was she hearing her? You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Yeah,
Like he's looking.
And how he didn't realize, like,
Yeah, like he's
obviously
looking
she
for.
didn't have it to her ear, but
Right.
But was
So
she sitting up? Maybe she was like laying down, like in the back or something, and like the phone was on the floor, so she could hear better, but he couldn't hear because the phone's closer to her. If
oh
she's
yeah,
laying down,
maybe.
maybe.
I
I
pictured
don't
her in
know.
the front seat for
Yeah,
some reason. I don't know
I am
why.
picturing her in the front seat too, but I mean, she could have been in the back. Was it a
Yeah.
truck or was it a car? Like, or she could still be laying down, crunched down in the
Yeah.
front seat so people can't see her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. And like, so I don't really know how she could have the, like, I really don't know how she could have it so she could hear it where I don't know. I find that weird because like loud enough where she could hear it, but not so loud that he couldn't. But maybe the radio being loud helped it because he could hear all he could hear. I mean, that was a good thing that the radio was so loud in the end because otherwise he probably would have been able to hear. Because even though when someone's on the phone, you can't hear what they're saying, but you can hear that there's someone, you know what I'm saying? Like you can hear a voice. That sounds like someone's on the phone. Also, he says, "Where's my phone?" Why wouldn't he like just assume that she took it and like look? He lets her be on the
Yeah.
phone. I don't know. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, "Where's my phone?" You think he'd think, "Oh, maybe she has it. I'll
Yeah. Yeah.
pull over and like search."
Yeah.
I don't know. But obviously this guy wasn't very smart at all. He got caught within hours.
Well, that's probably what he did, though. He
Um,
probably pulled over and realized she was on the phone or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Eventually,
yeah. Because I mean, he
So
killed her pretty quickly. Well, like, so yeah, like what? All this is so pointless. I mean, murder usually is, but like, he just kidnapped her and then like killed her within a couple hours, and then he's caught. Like, what was the whole fucking point?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the operator keeps asking her, like, "Do you know this person?" She says no. So it was a random
Yeah.
person. Like, he just saw it as an opportunity, like, probably saw her. And I mean, this guy, obviously, he's a fucking loser. But he's also not very smart. Like, he had a very low IQ.
Yeah, he looks like an idiot.
And, yeah, he had a very low IQ. And so obviously just wasn't thinking, like, acted on his impulse and, like, wasn't even smart enough to think about.
Yeah. It's terrifying. Ugh.
It wasn't like she was a child. She's a grown woman, and he's
I
just
know.
gone. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
And,
like
that
he's
was
stupid,
on,
but he's
you know,
like strong, right? He's like a big man.
yeah. And like she was abducted on January 17th of 2008, and her body was found on the 19th. So within 2 days they found her body, but he was arrested within hours I don't really know too much about. I didn't like go do a deep dive on him, but he was trained as a plumber. He was unemployed for a long time before the crime, and his house was in foreclosure. And he had a low IQ, and he had apparently he had like a sledding accident when he was a child that caused like a head injury and stuff like that. But yeah, clearly he was just a loser. Along with the 911 call too, one of the saddest things about this case is that she tried to get help, obviously through the 911 call, but then also her husband, like at some point before the abduction, had bought her a heart-shaped ring that she always wore and never ever took off. And they actually found the ring in the back seat of the car, and they believe that she did that so that it could be pointed to him, like if her ring was found in the car. So she was doing all these things, like to even have the foresight to be able to do that.
It just
In
seems
the
like
moment.
you have real-time sightings of this car, and they were able to intercept quicker. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I mean, within hours, which is relatively
I
quick,
guess.
considering
Yeah, that's
But, like,
super quick
obviously
for
not
all this to
quick enough.
happen.
yeah.
But still not really quick enough because, like I said, it went over county lines. And so every 911 call that was placed was like in a different
I guess,
jurisdiction.
yeah.
And then they never put the pieces together. Like one police department is getting a call saying, oh, this strange guy came and borrowed stuff. But they're not putting that together.
Yeah.
Like as,
And then,
you
yeah,
know.
her 911 call came in. Then somebody else another 911 call came in. Like, someone abducted my neighbor. But yeah, they can't connect all three of them.
I guess I'm just picturing
Yeah.
like a very small town where, it'd be very easy to catch this guy, but maybe it wasn't a small town. I just thought maybe
Yeah.
it seemed.
Well, it was Northport, Florida, which apparently is like 75,000 people.
Oh, okay. I just would assume it would be they would catch him quicker than they did, but I guess not.
Eventually, they had a trial. He pleaded not guilty, and then they had a full trial, a jury trial. August of 2009 was when the trial was, and the jury deliberated for like just over 2 hours, and they found him guilty of kidnapping,
Yeah,
felony.
well, it was like his fucking phone
and-
that she called from. So it's like, how are you gonna get out of that one? She doesn't just
Yeah.
randomly have your phone. Someone else abducted her. Like,
Mhm.
fucking idiot.
Yeah, and you can hear him in the background of the call. So like,
Yeah, it was me.
his voice,
Yeah.
that's him. They can like through voice matching, I'm sure, find out it's him. And then also her ring that they found in
Yeah.
his car. Like it's very obvious. Very obvious. And so he was sentenced to death. So they said he was guilty, and then the jury sentenced him to death in a unanimous vote. And on February 13th of 2026, so literally just a couple of weeks ago from the time this episode's coming out, his death warrant was signed, and he's scheduled to be executed on March 17th of 2026.
I'm surprised he got sentenced to death, because if he had like a low IQ and he wasn't like in his, you know what I mean? Like if you're not fully aware, like you're dumb as a rock,
I'm shocked
you
he
don't
got sentenced to death.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some laws that have come into effect as a result of this case about like the 911 like dispatching system and like trying to make it better so that it's like easier to connect, like because the fact that it was mishandled because it was bouncing around to all these different police jurisdictions. And so there have been some like some progress in Florida through some bills as a result of this, about like 911 operator training and like all of that stuff.
It
So
would be hard though. How are you supposed to connect these seemingly random calls from different counties? Like one's a child abduction, one's like a missing woman. Like, why would you put those together, right? So that's like, it'd be hard even if you were trying to think about that. Those don't
And
seem
also,
like they're
like,
connected.
if a crime started in one county, see it all the way through. Don't keep switching it to different police counties. You know what I mean? Until it comes time to investigate it. They can figure out
but I
who
mean,
handles
I
it.
think you can't help that because automatically the 911 call will go to whichever
Like as soon as
county
it
is closest.
crosses the line, it just turns off.
Well, like when you call 911, it's going to go to the closest dispatcher.
Yeah,
So
but if
you're
you're
in a
already on
different
the phone
county-
with the dispatcher, I wonder would
Yeah.
it just like
No, it doesn't like
Oh,
disconnect.
yeah.
It would stay, but like they don't know where
Yeah.
she is. Like they can't track where
Yeah.
she is, I guess. But I guess
Yeah,
now you can like
yeah.
actually like track a cell phone probably in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I know, but anyway, so that was that's the case of Denise Lee. So super sad. And the 911 call is just so crazy. And it's so sad that like she actually was able to like make a call and did so much, which should have been enough, but
Yep.
it just wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, it's
So
scary.
it's
So sad.
so
Mhm.
sad.
For her.
Yeah. So that's the fifth one. So that's kind of it for these 5. Any final thoughts or thoughts on the anniversary of the podcast?
It's crazy. I mean, I had nothing to do with the 5 years, but it's crazy that you guys have been doing it for 5 years. Good job.
Yeah, it is crazy that it's been 5 years. I feel like
Yeah.
we've learned a lot in 5 years. Hopefully it's better than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
Slightly anyway.
I'm sure it
a little
is.
bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it has to be. Can't be worse. So maybe just as bad though.
Yeah, just it's the same.
No. No, I think we're getting better. I think we are. For sure. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah. Here's to 5 more. I'm joking.
Put your comments on the video and asking for tell us if we're doing better or not. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah, let us know
Shogun.
your thoughts. Have you been with us since day 1 or since yesterday? Either way, either way, we're happy you're here. So yeah. So that does it for this episode of the show. If you are a fan of the show and you want to interact with us, you can just follow us at Crime Family Podcast on all the social media. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just type in Crime Family Podcast. You will find us. And, make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and comment on the videos or comment on social media and all of our posts and everything. Interact with us. Let us know what you think or give us case suggestions, theories on the cases we've done. Or if you have ideas for episodes that we should do, we'd love to hear that. So let us know. And so that does it for this week's, unique episode. Not really like one we've done before. We hope you enjoyed listening to it, and happy 5 years. Just say it. Celebration time.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, that does it for the show this week. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode and case. And until then, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.